Hello, everybody. My name is Angelina, and I am the psychic medium channeler person here at Divinely Driven. And I'm super excited to come to you guys today because I guess I have a new guide, or I have someone who wanted to connect with me this morning. And I'm really excited because the message that she gave to me was very enlightening, very helpful, very eye-opening for a lot of things that are personally happening in my life. So I figured I'd share with all of you. So before I kind of jump into that message, if you are not a subscriber to my channel, please make sure that you like and subscribe to this video and to my channel, clicking on that little bell, which will notify you anytime I go live or post a new video. And if you are already a person on my channel, please make sure you like this video anyway and share it with all of your friends who might be interested. And if you're here live watching, please make sure you pop in and say hi, because I really like, feeling like I'm talking to you guys, like we're, part of this community together. And, makes me feel a little bit better. Not so lonesome up here all by myself. So as we kind of jump in here, I want to tell you guys today is a really exciting day because we are just outside of the retrograde. So today is February 22nd, so 2/22. Hello. Hi, everybody. Hey, Louise. Hello. VA Bigfoot, I don't even know your name, but hi. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you caught it because you were trying to catch it a few times and you missed it. But hi, I'm glad you guys are here. So we're just outside of the retrograde, and today is 2/22. So twos are all about cooperation and collaboration. So if you are finding yourself or have found yourself in the past feeling very isolated, we are now coming into a time of spiritual connection and spiritual collaboration. It's really an amazing time coming out of all these retrogrades where we've been so isolated, depending on where you are on the planet right now. Okay, James. Hey, James. Depending on where you are in the planet right now, things can feel very segregated, very divisive. And what she was trying to tell me, this new guide was trying to tell me, is that we're coming out of that now. And literally, we're going to come into this time of like mass cooperation where people are just going to start being cool with each other. Like people are going to start finding ways to be similar instead of finding ways where they're separate. Hey, Pete, how's it going? Now my phone is ringing. So you guys, this is super exciting. Super side note. Oops, throwing things. Super side note, somebody found my old phone. So I'm talking on my old phone right now while my new phone is ringing off the hook. Okay, so anyway, back to the message from this guide. So the message is twofold, so very specific about that. So first of all, she wanted us to be open ourselves up to the beauty, open ourselves up to the similarities that make us unique and also like bring us together, right? So it's very important to open ourselves up to that beauty. So if you're living in a place where you're just like, everything's so terrible and I hate my life and blah, 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 find a way to shift that perception. What about your life is beautiful? What about your life works, right? There are things that work about your life. Even if you hate your life, like it's working for you in some way, right? And also to be ready for the untold opportunity. So don't invest yourself in the outcome. Invest yourself in the opportunity. Because very oftentimes, like there's this old Garth Brooks song where he's like, some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. So if you're invested in an outcome, then you're going to miss out on the opportunity that comes from maybe it not happening the way you think it will. It's very important and very interesting. And also, there's a unique and inherent beauty in things just not working out. Like sometimes I have to laugh because things go so laughably wrong sometimes that it's like, okay, there has to be a reason it's this bad right now, right? Like, I don't know if you guys have ever felt that, but like, I get in that way sometimes where I'm just like, why is this happening so bad? Like, why is nothing working right now? Okay, like, I get it. I'm invested. I'm going to just stop doing that right now. So definitely there's kind of like a funniness to life that she's asking for us to really embrace, okay? The next thing is like bring some passion back into your life. Like believe it or not, we do get in a place of stagnation, right? We get into this place where it's like, yeah, I know what's going to happen. Like my life is so predictable and easy. And that's fine because that happens, right? Like everybody gets there. Even this morning I was sitting there like, man, I know exactly what's going to happen after work, except for I detached from the outcome and now things are going to be really weird. And I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Okay, so let me get back on track. So bringing passion back into our lives and back into our interactions with people. So before, today, we were in this place of like passionate about our differences. I'm very passionate because I believe this thing. And if you don't believe the same thing as me, then you're bad somehow, or you're dumb, or you're whatever, right? So those energy projections. So now what they're saying is that we're going to bring that passion into our interactions with others in a different way, where it's like, wow, you like spiritual stuff? Me too. Like, how do you practice? Oh, I don't practice that way, but it's really cool to hear a different perspective. Maybe we should like collaborate somehow. That's like how things are going to start working out because that's like the age we're in, at least like as we're coming into that, right? And of course, we as humans always have an opportunity to change things and make it different. But it is very like there is a different energy in the air. There is a collaborative feeling. And I personally feel it. I'm really excited about it. I'm bringing my passion into it, right? Also, this particular guide really taps into the divine love. So, really, again, finding the similarities, finding the things to love about other people, to love about just the inherent differences, but also the inherent uniqueness, wonderful things that make us who we are, but also connect us to each other. That's really what she's talking about. And so instead of being in the state of like hate and rejection, to really find a way to love past that. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. So I was kind of having a hard time of bringing this message to you guys on YouTube because she talked about so many different things and they all kind of connect to each other. So I want you guys to know that as I'm telling you all these things, like I don't have it all figured out. I'm still trying to interpret and understand just like you guys are. And actually it was kind of a bummer because I was like really on track with her this morning and then my dog started barking. So like half of the stuff is kind of a little bit wonky because the meditation got all weird. But it's happened. It happens, and it's exactly what she talks about in this message because yes, we have to go with the flow. And also sometimes we have to pivot. So I'm going to get into that in a second. So, I'm ready for that. Great. Yes. And it's just around the corner. So I'm really excited about it too. Okay. So one of the ways that she was talking about, like she used the analogy of water. So we as humans, like the one thing that really connects us all is our inherent need for water. We are primarily made up of water, and water is this amazing cleansing thing. So when she's talking about going with the flow, she wants us to think about it like a river. Think about life like a river, because there is a very strong current that leads us in a direction. And you can think of the current as your expectation. So you have like as a human, you have the general momentum of increasing your life, of bettering your life, of going in a specific direction. But the thing is there's all kinds of bends in the river, right? There's rocks and all kinds of weird random things. Sometimes there's animals in the river like bears, and sometimes there's, weird obstacles. Sometimes a tree falls in the river and the river has to redirect. That's life. Okay? Life is like the river. So what she wants us to do is when you're finding yourself in a current and you're finding there's some kind of obstacle in your way, we have to learn how to pivot. So going with the flow is kind of a natural part of life. You can't really get through life and the adversities of life without going with the flow. And also, when things happen that go against you, that go against your current, you have to learn how to pivot, to move around it. If there's a big, huge stone in your way, you have to go around it. You have to find your way to overcome. And that's really what this particular guide, I almost said person, but it's not really a person, with this entity, I guess, wanted us to know is that when you're finding yourself with an obstacle in your way or an outcome in your mind or whatever, is that you got to pivot, find your way around it, and find the beauty in the obstacle because there is something in it. There's some message in it that you may not understand. Hey, Nikkei, how are you? How is life? I know last time you caught us like right at the end, and it was kind of a bummer. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we pivot? The main way that we pivot is that we have to come out from behind ourselves. We have to be honest about what we're doing that is in contradiction to our values, to our current, right? So we think about current as life, as our values and our wants. What are we doing that's going against that? And here's a really good example. So I'm going to like give you a real world example from Angelina World. Okay, so I really like eating healthy. Eating healthy is very important to me. And also like, exercising and things like that. So every morning I set the intention that I am going to live a healthier life by going to the gym and drinking less coffee. And I've had a really hard time doing that. I've had a really hard time going to the gym, and I've also had a really hard time cutting out coffee. So I'm living in that state of contradiction. I want one thing, but I'm not really doing it. Like, I don't want it enough to actually take the action to do it. That happens. That's like life, right? Oh, that's okay, Nikki. I knew that you would. Hello, Oracles and Beyond. Welcome to my channel. How are you? I'm glad you guys are here. Okay, so take some time to really recognize what those contradictions are. What are those internal conflicts? And then once you recognize what those conflicts are, and this is the hard one. This is one that I am working on. I'm gonna take a breath because it's that serious. Okay. Once you figure out what your contradictions are, stop making excuses. Stop making excuses about why you're not doing it. Stop saying it's hard because it's not hard. Stop saying that you'll do it tomorrow. And that's really hard. That's really hard for me. It's hard for me to say it's not hard. Like, look at me. I'm like literally doing it right now. Okay. Your videos always find me when I need a message. That's awesome. Yay. Well, it's called Divinely Driven for a reason, right? Okay. So in meditation today, you guys, it was really interesting because that thing I was just saying about things not being hard, I kept saying that in my meditation. I kept telling this entity, like, it's just really hard. And she kept saying, it's not hard. Stop saying that. It's not hard. It's really not hard. It's not hard. Just do it. Right. And in my, like, inside of me, it's just like this writhing feeling of like, but it is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a contradiction that I had even within myself as I'm having this like channeling session. So really trying to find a way to not think things are hard, because they're only going to be as hard as you allow them to be, right? And that's the message in it. So you can fight the current or you can pivot, and then you can keep going. And that's what she was saying, is like, it's really not hard. You just have to learn how to pivot. And when you do pivot, you're going to find that it really wasn't so hard. It was just a matter of learning how to do it. It's just like any other skill of life, is to be able to pivot. So here's kind of like the end message, right? So really, to spread our wings and become expansive, we have to become limitless. And when we truly become limitless, when we learn to recognize the signs of our own limitations that we're putting on ourselves. So recognizing when you're putting yourself in a box, and then releasing that so that you can really come into your expansiveness. Stop making excuses for why it's hard, and you just do it. That is how you come into that place of limitlessness. That is how you come into that place of expansion, of collaboration, of all these things that we want, right? We want community. And yet we have all these reasons in our mind about why we're divided. We're not divided. We're all the same. We all are connected. We're all human beings. We all are made up of the same stuff. What's inside of us may be different, right? Our thoughts might be different. Our background might be different, but we're all humans, right? Doesn't matter where you are. You're human, just like me. Yay, like, that's exciting. Find some passion in that. Find some way to be excited because you are living on a planet with a bunch of other human beings that are all different in their own ways, and you can learn from that, right? There's excitement to it. There's passion to it. And that's what this guide really wanted me to express to you guys today. I couldn't really express it in a recorded video because there's just like so much excitement that I get when I'm conveying it to you guys this way that you can't get from a recorded video. Like, I don't know, I always feel like all stiff in the recorded stuff. So anyway. Yay, I'm glad you like the positive talk. So I do channeled like sessions every morning with my guides, and then I bring it all to you guys. So it's exciting for me. I really enjoy it. So, okay. So let me see. What else did we have to talk about this morning? So we were talking about this time of collaboration. Okay, here's the other thing. So this particular whatever really wanted to bring up water. So because we're coming out of this weird time, this like static time, it's weird because they literally are saying like static. It was a static time because they wanted everything to be in like in like stagnant moment. Like everybody just to stand still. That's what this last time was. Everybody just stands still. So now we're moving into a time of propulsion. So we're all going to be moving forward in some way. So what does that mean in terms of water? Well, water is very cleansing. So if you are taking time or if you're noticing that you're feeling ungrounded or whatever, to bring water into your life in some way. So drinking more water so that you're cleansing yourself. If you're finding yourself overwhelmed by energies or feeling disconnected from others, water is the thing that connects us. Okay. So there's some things, and we're going to be talking about this week because they always kind of give me like a theme. So we're going to talk about different like grounding techniques with water over the next few days. But what they're really wanting you to notice, so notice when you're feeling the need to wash your face or wash your hands. And also take into account if you're starting to feel overwhelmed, to go wash your hands or go wash your face, like, or take a drink of water. That's like a big one for me, is to take a drink of water. Like I have water bottles like everywhere because I'm always like taking drinks of water. And the one that I had is over there because I was going to sit down to tell you guys this message, but I decided to stand. So whatever. Anyway, so take some time to notice that when you're starting to feel overwhelmed or feel divisive, take a drink of water, splash some water in your face, wash your hands, whatever you need to do, but to connect to the water in some way, okay? Because the water is going to cleanse it, to get it off of you so that you can start fresh in whatever is happening, okay? So if there's any questions, this is a great time. If you have any questions or any comments, please let me know now. And also, if you're watching this on the replay, leave a comment. I will definitely get back to you. I do my best to kind of keep up with everything. Hey, old dog. How's it going? Welcome. Okay, so any questions, any comments, any wonderings as we move forward? And as you guys are doing that, I'm going to grab this water right over here. I might just take you guys with me. I'm just gonna take you guys with me as we walk 3 steps here to the right. Going good. Yay, I'm so glad. Refreshing. Okay, so like I mentioned, you guys, over the next week, the next few days, I'm going to be posting just different videos, different ways of grounding, different ways of like cleansing with water. Like specifically, we're going to be working with that element this week because that's who we're working with this week. We're working with well, I guess I can tell you guys, we are working with the goddess Yami, who is an Indian goddess, who is the goddess of one of I guess the Ganges. Like I'm still learning because I had never heard of her before this morning when she popped in. So typically that's how it works, is like they kind of come in, sometimes they give me their name, sometimes they don't, and I'm just like, cool, I don't know anything about you, like let me learn, you know. And then things got a little messed up, which happens. So things don't always go as smoothly as I wish that they would. I'm still in the making excuses stage. Okay, so Nikki, please don't feel bad. I am too. It is what it is. I'm learning to pivot. Like I was gonna say, it's really hard, but it's not hard. It's not hard. I'm not saying that anymore. I'm not gonna say it's hard anymore because it's not. It's not hard. It's not hard. Anyway, so that's where we're at, you guys. That's who we're working with this week. I'm really excited. I was kind of thinking like, I don't know, but I decided to tell you guys. So cat's out of the bag. That's who we're working with. So that's kind of the thing, you guys. So kind of going into this like guilt, right? Because, we're making excuses. The thing is like, there is no guilt. Like our guides don't stand around like judging us. Or they also don't stand around feeling pity for us, right? They don't do that. They just go, one of these days they're gonna get it. They're just gonna get it and they're gonna move on and they're gonna move up. And that's how it is. And that's probably why you were led here today, is so that you could have someone else remind you, like, hey, it's not hard, we just gotta do it. And I'm doing it too. I do the same thing. It's such a habit for me to say, it's just really hard, that I don't even notice I'm saying it sometimes. Like in the recorded video, I kept saying, it's just really hard. And then like, no, it's not. Like, it's not hard. It's just so natural for us to say it. And so many people, when they're sympathizing with you, they say the same thing, right? It's just really hard. It's a really bad habit for us to get into, to make excuses and to like put obstacles in our path. That's really what it is. Saying it's really hard is just adding an obstacle in our path. So get it out of our way. We don't need it. Pivot around it because it doesn't serve us. Are black candles bad to use? I was told to get rid of them. I personally use black candles. It depends on what I'm using it for. Everything is an intention. So typically I use black candles on the new moon and I use white candles on the full moon. So it really just depends. I personally think everything is about intention. So yeah. So that's my answer. No, I don't think that they're bad. I think that you can literally make anything good or anything bad based on the intention that you put behind it. So it's up to you what you think. Don't let people scare you. You guys, don't be rooted in fear. Don't let people root you in fear. This is a pivot moment, okay? Go with your current. Don't go with somebody else's current, okay? And we talk a lot about, last week, we talked about being grounded in fear or being grounded in love. And that's like also what this message is about, is find your way to be rooted in divine love, to make your decisions based on what you feel is love, right? What is perpetuating love versus what is perpetuating fear? Telling you that something is bad perpetuates fear. Telling you to be afraid of something is perpetuating fear, right? It's a candle. It's a color candle. It's not bad. You know what I mean? Like, it's a candle. This is a can. Is a can bad? No. I cannot recycle it, and that's kind of a jerk move. But I'm still not bad. I'm a good person. And the can itself is a can. It holds water, right? Don't let people scare you. It's a weird power thing that people try to do where they try to make you feel like they know more. Look, I channel higher beings. Today I channeled a goddess, for God's sake, and I still am having trouble understanding her message because I am a lowly human, okay? Don't let people scare you. That's what your spirit told me. That it's the intention that matters. Yeah. So don't let people scare you. People just like to have that weird thing to lord over people. I don't get it. All right, everyone, that's all I have for you today. Thank you all so much for being here. I'm so grateful for you guys for being here and listening, asking questions. I really do appreciate it. It just makes it a little bit more fun. If you have any questions along the way, please make sure you leave a comment, or if you have something that you would like to have a video on, please let me know. Like if you have like a specific question about any of these tips that I give you, or any sort of rituals that you do that you really like, that you'd like to share with us, totally leave it in the comment, you guys. I'm totally interested and love all the feedback. And if you're watching this as the replay, please make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel, clicking that little bell so it notifies you all the time whenever I go live or post a new video. All right, thank you, Nikki. Thank you, James. Thank you, Pete. Thank you, Old Dog. I don't know your name, Old Dog, but I'm glad you were here. And anyone else who watches this, please be a part of our community. This is a great place for us to talk, ask questions. It's not always just me standing up here and talking. Sometimes we have guests. And if you'd like to be a guest on my channel, also leave that in the comments because I'm totally down. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Much love. Oh, you did! Oh my gosh. Hey, message me on Facebook and let me know how that went for you, okay? Let me know how the protection went, okay? All right, everyone, I'll talk to you guys all later. Bye.